I'm kind of not sure what to make of of this match against Wolves today, because the contrast between the first and second half was stark, almost almost schizophrenic. Liverpool started well enough in the first half, started fast on the attack, forcing Wolves into mistakes, and the two goals that were scored in the first half, both came from fortuitous bounces of the ball, which was also because of forcing some of the Wolves defenders into mistakes, right? Diaz, the ball deflected. Salah's pass for the first goal. Salah's pass, it bounced off the Wolves defender's foot, and the bounce was kind for Diaz, who was right there in the right place, to pounce, and force the ball into the net for the first goal. Then again, fortuitous bounce, for leading up for the second goal. Diaz getting the ball, winning the penalty. Salah scoring the penalty, and Liverpool also had a number of other presentable chances in the first half, and Wolves themselves also had some good situations in the first half, but Liverpool definitely had the better of it. But then in the second half, I really can't explain, can't really quite understand what exactly happened to cause such a big change. Because it felt like in the second half, Liverpool were really painfully wasteful in attack, on a number of occasions, when Liverpool on the attack, especially let's say when they force the turnover and they have a chance to launch a quick counter attack. Wolves maybe have 3 or at most 4 players back, and the rest are still chasing back. And so in that kind of situation, when Wolves are chasing back and they're not in that defensive shape, the space is there for the Liverpool attackers. As long as they play the right pass, play a smart pass, play it right, play it precise, play it accurate, okay, the chance is there, to take a shot, score a goal, something. But then time and time again, it felt like instead of playing the easy pass for the nearest teammate, they seem to choose to play the difficult pass across the field or whatever, and the ball gets intercepted. So many overhit passes or underhit passes, wrong direction, wrong player, wrong this, wrong that, and just constantly wasting whatever chance they had to create something. And then in midfield and defense, I get the impression that that Liverpool were not able to match Wolves in terms of Wolves pressing, their energy, their physicality, their physical strength. It seemed like the Wolves had their physical superiority in midfield, and also a numerical superiority. It seemed like time after time, if there was a loose ball in midfield, the Wolves player would be there first. If there's a 50-50 to be won, the Wolves player will be the one winning it. And also on a number of occasions, when Liverpool were forced back into the own half, forced into their defensive shape, any chance that they had to clear the ball, somehow it's always a scuff clearance or a poor clearance, or they just give the ball straight back to the opponents. So it just felt really frustrating and just infuriating at times. Just how badly this second half was going. So there was a suggestion, that perhaps the Liverpool players were starting to tire, maybe in the final half hour or so. Certainly some of the midfield players, look like they were starting to tire. That is very possible. And if I were to look at it from that angle, and weigh in that possibility, then the likelihood is that Liverpool would have needed to really maximize maximize the attacking situations and whatever chances that they had, probably in the first half or in the first 60 minutes, to be as accurate and efficient as they could be, score as many goals as they could in that time period, and put this game out of sight before Wolves had the chance to get into the ascendancy in that final half hour. As it were, though, it was just the two goals that were scored in the first half, and once Wolves got the goal that they scored, 67th minute it was, it sort of became a very close fight, close finish. Interestingly, though, as it turns out, right, despite Liverpool being under as much pressure as they were in the second half, and then especially with the scoreline being as close and as nervous as it was at 2-1, after that 2-1 goal, Liverpool were never really in that kind of severe danger of conceding, apart from that one chance late in the game there where the Wolves player put that cross in, and I think Fonsa it was who had to scramble back and recover to prevent a tap in or something like that. That was the that one situation that Wolves had to create a big clear-cut chance. And in fact, I saw the replay of that passage of play. I think it was Robinson's. It was probably Robinson's fault for that, because the other defenders were maintaining their defensive line, the offside line. But for whatever reason, Robertson decided to be the only one to drop deep all the way into the penalty box and played everyone on side. So I'm not sure what was going on there, but that definitely looked like some kind of defensive miscommunication there, and just a very poorly executed defensive line. But again, Liverpool got away with that. The thing is, Liverpool definitely were not bad in the first half. They were good enough for that 2-goal lead in the first half. They played well enough to get those 2 goals and probably to get more as well. But it's sort of like the lingering impression, the lingering memories that I have of this match now, after it is over now, is how poor that that second half was. So hopefully in the next few matches, it won't be this nervous, this nail biting, and okay, it's as the title says, right? A little bit of the old squeaky bum time, and we are now at the 2/3 mark of the season. 25 matches played and just 13 matches left, and it is now the part of the season where, especially with the other competitions also still in play, Liverpool going for the league title, they have the League Cup final still to play, they have the Champions League matches coming up in the coming weeks and months. So it kind of comes to the point where Liverpool need the results more than performances. You can play very well and get a draw, but it is still a draw. It's still 1 point. You can play badly and get the win. It is still a win. It is still 3 points. And right now, having 3 points on the board is much better than having 1 point on the board. It's about getting over the line, just getting it done. Yes, ideally, you would want to play well and have a dominant win, but not every match is going to be like that. It's the part of the season, where not just yourselves, But every other team in the league, with their own aspirations, with their own objectives, they will also be fighting for every point. They'll be fighting and scrapping, and as much as Liverpool would want to get the points on the board by hook or by crook, those other teams would also be wanting to do the same to get points on their board by hook or by crook. And as such, that's why it's gonna be that part of the season where every match is going to be a tough fight. It's going to be physical. It's going to be a scrap. And the nature of this win today, this kind of a nervous, tension-laden, uncomfortable, again, fighting and scrapping for the win. In these 13 matches left to play, I fully expect that there's at least going to be quite a few matches in those remaining 13 that resemble what we saw today.